Alright guys, so I've got my Bootstrap template that I pulled from the Bootstrap site in the first video over here, right? And then on the left, I've got this sort of inspiration for what my site could look like. Okay, and again, this comes from this examples area of the Bootstrap site, which is getbootstrap.com. If you go to the examples area, you can see all this different stuff. Okay, and I'm not saying like your site needs to look like this. I'm just saying that if you want some inspiration to make your site look a certain way, then you should come here because this will cover a lot of stuff. And what you could do is you could just come in here and F12 and go to elements and then grab like the whole site basically. Like you could grab the header all the way down through the main to the footer. Okay, you could just grab all this stuff. But, and I don't even know, let's see. Yeah, I don't encourage you to do that. You can use this as a way of, kind of figuring out how it works by expanding all these pieces. Like you can see as I go through, like it's showing me where everything is. It'll show me that if I come down here to my, this album class, which is the columns. Okay, so I'll make this big real quick. Yep, so you can see that it's got these little individual columns, and each of those, each of those is a row and a column like this, and that's something I'm going to look at in just a second. And you could copy all this, but I wouldn't encourage you to do that. Okay, this is just kind of inspiration, and you should be saying in your head, all right, well this looks cool. How do I get something that's kind of like this, and then figure that out on your own. Okay, and this is a step to figuring it out on your own. Don't get me wrong. Like pressing F12 and seeing how the site works kind of is valuable without a doubt, but you don't want to just try to replicate this because it usually doesn't work out very well, and you learn less that way, I think. So I'm going to go back to my resources for learning, and in this case I'm going to click on this W3 Schools, okay, the Bootstrap Get Started, which is this right here, and it's going to tell you what Bootstrap is, and we can talk about that a little bit, but we sort of already have. Anyway, Bootstrap is a front-end framework, and what is a framework? Well, a framework is ultimately a blueprint, like kind of like an object-oriented Python class. It's a blueprint for further customization. It makes things easier, right? If we have a blueprint we can start with, we're always starting from a consistent place, and then we can make changes from there. It includes lots of stuff. A lot of the things that make websites look the way that they do, like this little button right here, is a Bootstrap feature. These drop downs are a Bootstrap feature. This nav bar is a Bootstrap feature. All this kind of stuff. These are Bootstrap features. Okay, even the fact that we can scroll over here independently of this website is a Bootstrap feature, probably. And another important part is this word responsive. Okay, so let's pause here for a second, and I wonder if you know that to view any website in its mobile form, if I press F12 in Google Chrome, I can go up here to this little toggle device toolbar, or you can do Control-Shift-N, that's cool. And you can bring up a bunch of different phones, like an iPhone X. And that's what this website looks like on an iPhone X. It's kind of interesting, right? I wonder what would happen if you do that with your website. Mine's not a good example right now because I've already got Bootstrap on there, but let's try and see what happens. There you go. That's what my website looks like on an iPhone X. Now, if I were to remove the Bootstrap, let me see if I can do that quickly. I'm probably going to mess it up. We'll just give it a try. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's probably HTML5 that makes it work no matter what. Let me make my first line really long. Okay, let's see what happens now. Did I save it? Did I put that in here? What's going on? What did I do? Oh, that's the title. Whoops. All right. Cool. Okay, so it actually works, and that's probably because it's HTML5. But, before HTML5, back in the old days, if you wrote all that stuff on there, it would just go flying off the screen. okay? Because you did not have it set up to deal with a smaller window. So ultimately, Bootstrap improves the responsiveness of websites. And when we say responsiveness, I don't mean like how quick they are. I mean, what, depending on what device I'm looking at a website on, it's going to look different, right? Have you ever thought about that? Like how many different ways a website has to look on different devices of different sizes? You got iPads, you've got Galaxy Fold, whatever the heck that is, Galaxy S5, Moto G4, Pixel 2 XL, lots of stuff. Okay, and I think you can add more. Surface Duo. My point is, this can look different on lots of different devices, and Bootstrap allows us to write HTML that easily handles all these different views of the website, rather than us having to write custom code for every single type of device. I mean, that sounds insane, right? You would not want to write custom code for every single type of size, although you can get you can do a lot of interesting things with Bootstrap that I don't know about, as far as custom fits for certain devices. Because some things are, like one resolution is 1024 by 768. Another resolution is 2560 by 1440. If you play video games at all, or anything like that, or especially if you use a laptop, like you're familiar with every screen, right? Every computer is capable of displaying different resolutions to different screens. So we do know that, but we don't necessarily know what kind of device our website's going to be viewed on. So it's kind of a rambling comment to basically say that Bootstrap makes our sites responsive on different devices. Okay, so let's go back. Let's get rid of this view. I'm not on an iPad. I'm on a big Computron. So what we can start to look at is the most basic stuff. And this is a good basic example right here, and you can try it yourself. And this shows that if we do all this stuff on our website, we're going to get something that looks like this, okay? Which is a great place to start. So if you want to do something like that, you can. You can just grab all this and kind of like mess around with that on your website. I don't consider that like copying another template. That's just you using, you've still got stuff to figure out if you do that. But one thing that's really powerful with Bootstrap is this grid system. And that's what I want to show you in this video, is using rows and columns to create some kind of like system of layout. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to narrate a little bit, I guess, but I don't have like a pre-recorded like list of things I'm going to do. I'm just going to kind of figure it out as I go, because I don't work with this every day like I would Python. So anyway, here we go. Let's go ahead and erase all this nonsense. One of the first things I need when I'm building a Bootstrap site is a container, and you can see that right here. Basically, everything goes into containers within your Bootstrap page. So I need a div. And do I want to put that? Let's see. I want to look back at this. No. Okay. So we'll just have our container start here. Cool. And if you don't remember what divs are, okay, divs are a way of separating the content on your HTML page into logical portions, like chunks, sections. Okay. If you want to learn more about that, go back to the HTML and look at divs. So as I'm building this div, I'm just going to go ahead and start to create my rows. So I think its class is row. Okay. And then I'll just do one row for now. Now, in a row, you're going to have columns, right? And each column can be a different width of the page. We call that the span of the column. Ultimately, they just have to add up to 12. Okay, so you can do however many you want to. They just need to add up to 12. So you can do something like 4 and 8, 6 and 6, or all 12. I'm going to do an even split, so I'm going to do span 4, span 4, span 4. So this looks like div class equals column, and then it talks about the 4 classes for like the size. So I would say you want to do probably mobile first, right? So I would say XS and just go with that. But it's not a big deal. You guys are doing this for the first time, so you know, whatever you come up with. All right, so now let's just do some test text here. We'll do like an H1 or an H2. And we'll say, we'll just do some labels. Column 1. And then we need another one, so I'm just going to copy paste. Column 2. Column 3. So let's save this and see what we've got. Okay, that's not exactly what I wanted. I want them to go across the screen. So now I got to figure out, what did I do wrong? Let's go back. What the heck is going on here? All right, let's... Oh! That's great. I forgot to uncomment my Bootstrap. I'm not using Bootstrap. I should have known from the text. Maybe that'll happen to you too. Who knows? All right. Well, that's great. I'm glad you got to see that. Boom. All right. Things I don't know. Cool. Now, you know, this is really tight and close together, so maybe I will add some kind of style action. I'm going to go ahead and create an external style sheet, which is something that you should start to get used to. Styles.css. And I am going to, I think I need to do that after the, I need to do that after the Bootstrap. And then we'll say, let's just do a test here. We'll say H1, color will be blue. And then we'll think, nope, that did not work. Oh, I forgot to close it off. That'll do it every time. Nope, that ain't it. So let's try it above it. Nope. Maybe just styles.css. There we go. All right. So that's me bringing in my style sheet. Now I can do everything I want to in here for my styles. So that's useful to know. I want to add some padding. I'm kind of going off there. You know what? I'm going to save that for another time. Kind of going off the rails there by doing that. That's a totally different subject. So I've got my columns. I can do whatever I want to within my columns. But one thing I do want to do is I want to give them a border so we can see exactly where they are. So what I'm going to do is I will say if it is a dot column, do not use empty rule sets. Okay. Oh, dot. Okay, let's do dot column small 4. How is that empty? Let's try it out. We'll do border 2 pixels. Let's see what that does for us. Nope.
I don't know if we got 2 pixels. All right, cool. And now let's see. There we go. Okay, that's what I want to show you. So there's the grid, right? And we can just do this forever. So I think that this is a good place to stop because this gives you like an idea of what you can do with layout. Everything that you need is ultimately going to come from the from your resources, right? So if you want to achieve a certain way for your website to look, just go out there and start to try to figure it out on your own. Like if you want a Jumbotron, figure out how to add a Jumbotron, which is one of the examples in the W3 schools. If you want a nav bar, if you want to start adding more pages to your website for some reason, then go ahead, like try that out. Really what I want you all to do is just get familiar with all the different things that you can do with Bootstrap to make a website look a little bit better. And I just want to see where you take it from here. Okay, so you can put as much effort into this as you want to, or if you just want to change your layout a little bit and make your website responsive and work with Bootstrap, then you should do that. Okay, I do want to take a second to show you that this is responsive, which is kind of neat. So notice how when my columns, right, it's pretty cool. My columns are now responsive, and this extends to like every Bootstrap feature is that everything's going to be nicely tucked into the screen no matter what I'm on. And if I'm not on a mobile device, then I go back to my big like desktop view, which is pretty cool. Okay, I think that's it for the video for right now. Oh, I want to do my get, right? So I'll do the status, get add. And now I want to add all because I need to add in that styles sheet that I made. I'll do get commit, adding external style sheet, adding grid grid. Okay, git push. Cool. And now everything's pushed up to GitHub. Okay.